Okay, so we are now on step 17, and with step 17 we need to make some more the upper arms. So again, we're going to need some more components as well. So namely, we're going to need this B1 part, which is going to go underneath the front gearbox. We are going to need some parts from bag C, which is the last parts from bag C. So BA2s, we need 2 of those. That's these guys here, the 3x8mm screws. We need some BC1s. These are the 3x8mm countersunk screw. So I don't know if that can pick it out there. You've got this counter, there you are. We're going to need the turnbuckle shafts, so we need 2 of those. That's these guys here, 2 of those. We're also going to need our drive shafts, which is 2 of those guys. And of course, we're going to need our 5mm ball ends. And of course, give us a little bit of help, we're going to use our little Tamiya spanner wrench. All right, so we have our components, and probably a little bit of greasing on here, but very light, because we don't want to get that full of dust from the road or etc. where we're running in the car. So let's show you how to put all this little bit together. Okay, so just to show you how we make one of these turnbuckles, patience is the key here. You literally take your 2 5mm ball ends and your shaft, which is your turnbuckle shaft, which is 3x23mm, and one thread is counterclockwise and one thread is clockwise. So how I do this is you get this in as straight as you possibly can and cut the thread in. Some people use a screw to put a screw thread in here, but as you need to make sure one is counter and one is clockwise, you need to be careful, of course. So this one here, you literally start the thread in, and you literally get it going, and then once you've got it going, you know that you can wind your spanner and just wind that in and get that going. And it is a case of winding this, keep winding this in until you get it right. And then the other side is counter, one is counter that side, so this side is going to be clockwise. So much the same, get this going, and it's do as much as you can with your finger, which won't be a great deal, I promise. And then it is a case of winding this in using I would use one of these turnbuckle tools that can grip, and I'm literally putting my finger, holding that in place, and I'm then using the wrench and just literally making sure I use which one, I remember which one I'm doing. So I think this is the clockwise one, yeah. So you literally do that, and you're literally winding this in as if you're winding a spanner. Okay, that's how you do it. Back in a moment. So just a quick one here. If you haven't got a turnbuckle tool, you can use a pair of like these grips. I mean, I'm going to be honest with you, these grips go back sort of 35 years. They're like an adjustable grip, and they're quite a small one. And what you can do, you can, if you need to, you can just gently put that in the jaws and just hold that gently like that, and then you can wind this in like that, and that will actually work as well. Okay, so we now got to adjust these so we get the 8.5mm. So you can use a ruler if you wish, you can use calipers. If you've got digital calipers, you can use those, or you can just offering on the drawing to get these to 8.5mm. Okay, so back in a moment when we've got this exactly right. And so on this one here, we've got one of them done, and you're just literally doing this until you get the 8.5mm. So I am about there, 8.5. There you go. Here you are. So that one's okay. That's that one corrected. Let's do the next one. So I'm going to look probably looks if it's a bit tight. Yeah, I'm at 7.5, so got to wind these out a little bit. Back in a moment. And let's do a measurement on here. Here we are. We're about right again. There you are. There you go. 8.5. Yeah, about that. 8.52. There you go. So about there. All right, so we can move on to the next bit. Okay, so next we need to introduce the chassis again, and we're going to need to pop our upper arms into place, and our upper arms, they're going to connect to here and here. Okay, so we've got our upper arms in place, but we also need to make sure we put our drive shafts in first of all. So we're going to need to put our dog bones in and then pop the arm on. Okay, so just going to pop a little bit of grease on here, just a tiny bit, just to give it some lubrication, and I'm just gonna sort of literally brush a little bit on just to give it the right coverage. So here we go, just introducing a little bit of grease on here, and I just don't want to go too mad, because you just get loads of dust and whatever on here. And again on the other side, just introduce a bit of grease on there, just enough to give you what you need. There you go, look. Just using the nozzle, tip of the nozzle. Bit of grease, okay. So that's on that one. So we now pop that in to place. Okay. So you can see we can do this on camera. So you're going to pop that in there and pop that through, and we're going to need to turn this. There we go. So now that's in. All right. And then we're going to introduce our top turn buckle like that. Make sure you get it on square, and same again on here. There we go. So now that's in place. Okay, we need to do the same with the other side. So get the other one, and just going to introduce a bit of grease. I'm just literally taking a little bit off the hair, just squeezing. There we are, just a little bit. Introduce onto your brush, and then introduce this to there. Look, I think the idea is we just don't want to. We're just trying to make sure there's enough on here, just so it doesn't create any wear in the join there. Okay, so that's that bit introduced on there, and the same again on this side. Pop that through your. I'll try and do this on camera so you can see it through there, and then collect. Here you go. So they're in. Okay, so there you are. That's in there now, and then introduce your arm there. So let's bring the top arm in there. One on there. Oh yeah, that's a nice easy one in there, Tamiya. Oh, there we go, look. There we are. So now, okay, we've got those in place. All right. And now we've got to put in the bottom bit. And the bottom bit is going to go like that. So literally you're connecting these holes and these holes, and it literally slides into place and it covers the motor. So in here to collect that front end, like so. Just put them in loosely so you can see them. There we go. Let's pop that other one in the front. There we go. And then the countersunk ones will go in the chassis. So let's pop that in there. This is nice and easy, this bit. Okay. And then it's a case of nipping them up. And I'm just nipping them up as best I can so you can see on camera. And again, don't go too mad. Just want to nip these up so they're nipped up in a quarter turn. Like I'm doing there. A little bit of screwing together here, this one. Yeah, quite a lot of, there we go. We're getting somewhere near now. So, and again, just a matter of popping those in. Not too bad. There we go. Finger tight, plus a quarter turn. There we go. Quarter turn, nip, nip, nip. Yeah. So now, and step 17 is now complete.